This video we are gonna be having a beginner-friendly After Effects tutorial. If you just downloaded After Effects, or if you're curious about what you can do with it, then this video could be great for you. We will be having a look at the user interface, common effects, and we will see about the basics to an animation. So let's go. So this is what After Effects would look like when you first install it to your computer. This is the entry look to your After Effects. So we got different types of panels here. Each of them does different type of jobs. So we will have a look at this now. So we got some type of tools that we are gonna be using. So, and most of them are not active because we don't have any video here set up. So when we import a video here, when we open a new project, this will get active. So we will be looking at this panels now. So this one is our project panel. Oops. This one is the project panel. This is where we will be importing all our stuff here, including videos, images, and sound effects. I don't know, whatever comes to your mind. This is where we will be importing the project files. And this panel, this big screen here, this is where we'll be having a look at the videos that we are editing. So this is our playback area, and down here, this is our timeline panel. So when we import videos here, we will want to edit these videos. We won't be just staying by importing this here, so we will drag this down here and then add effects to the videos or so, and then we can have a look at the time here. Let's say if we wanted to jump to the 5th second or so, if the video is 10 seconds long, we can have a look at the time here. And this will also get active when we import a video. And we got effect panel here. We can choose different types of effects. We can go to effects and presets. Here we will be getting lots of effects, or we can choose a character if we are typing something. So this is where we'll be choosing character. We can set the paragraph. And by the way, if you mess things up here, then let's say if we dragged by accident, if we drag this here, or it's already complicated if we drag this like that. So if it gets messed up like that, then we could go here, window, workspace, and then choose this one, reset default to save layout, and then it will turn back to the normal layout. When we want to import a video, we can, by going to this project panel, we can either right click, import file, and then we can choose this one, double click on it, and then it gets imported here. Or we can, I'll press just Ctrl Z to undo this. We can by dragging and dropping actually. So we can select the video and then drag and drop here, and then it gets imported. So, and this is the area where it will tell us the basic information about the video. So this is the name of it, which type of file it is, so it's MP4, and tells us the dimensions of the video, it's 30 fps and so on. It tells us the basic information. And coming to creating a composition now, so when we click on this one, we get some settings here for creating a composition, or we can just by clicking on this icon, we get the same thing done. So this is where we can give it a name, our video a name. So I'll call this, I don't know, project name, you can call it whatever you want. And this area is where we choose the size of the video for our project. So it could be, if we were designing for, if we were making a video for an Instagram story, it will be vice versa. So this will be 1080 by 1920. Or if we were making an Instagram post design, then it will be 1080 by 1080. But we will keep this by 1920 by 1080 now. And this is where we determine the frame rate. This one. So if we wanted this video to play in 60 fps, then we will be changing this to 60. So I'll keep this at 30, because as it says here, it's 30 fps, so I'll keep this at 30. And this is where we set the duration. So if we want to change this to 5 seconds, then we will be deleting this and then type in 0.5 here, or a shortcut to it is, say if you want to go back to 10 seconds, so we'll be typing 10 period, and then when we click over here somewhere, it shows us that it's 10 seconds long. And this is where we give our video a background color. So in this case it's black, and if we click here we can choose a different type of color. So because it is black, when we click OK, we get this completely black here. If we had different type of color, if we had red, then this will be red. I can show you by changing from this composition settings. If we had this red, we will be getting a red background. So I'll hit Ctrl Z to undo. And now I'm gonna import the video that we have here. So we drag this here, and then, so this is bigger than the size that we had in the video. We can either keep the settings, or we can create a composition with the exact size of the video. And to do that, we can just click on the video by going to the project panel. This one we can click and then drag it to the composition icon. So we click and drag, and it creates us the exact size of the video, and it makes it longer. So this video is longer than 10 seconds, and we can see it here. So it's about 11 seconds. Yeah, it could be 1 minute long or longer, but in this case it's 11 seconds. And we can see it here. And if you're not sure, we can also see it. Oops. If you're not sure, we can see it from this area as well. So it's 10th second. And yeah, if we move this, as you can see, it changes here again. So, and by moving this CTI, current time indicator, we can jump to 5th second or so. And if you press space, then we can view the video rather than moving this one like that. We press space, and this is called ramp preview. There are cases that our videos get heavy, so this would not render as fast. This green will turn into red. So, but in this case, it just does good. So that's the basics of it. And if you want to move frame by frame, there will come times that we will want to move frame by frame, so we will be pressing page down to move frame by frame. If you wanted to jump to 10th frame, so we would have to press 10 times on page down, or we could just shift press page down, shift page down, so it moves to 10th frame. And we can see it from these numbers. So rather than moving like this, we can press page down, or page up to move back in time. So shift page down moves by 10 frames, shift page up moves back by 10 frames. And as I said, we can see it from these numbers. And we have this setting here. We can make this video that we have here, we can make this fit onto the screen by changing this to fit, so here it is. Or if you want to, I don't know, zoom in or out even more, or if you want to zoom out, we will be choosing options from the settings, and we could set the resolution. We could change the quality of the video from the settings over here. So I'll change this to full, so it gets better, it has a better quality. So when we move this time indicator, because of the render, it shows like that. And this is called ramp preview. When it's full, it renders slower. And if you take this to half or third, then it will be rendering faster. So I'll change this back to full. We will have a look at the keyframes now. So when we open the settings, here, when we open the settings, we get some options here, like transform audio. So we will open the transform settings as well. So we got some basic settings here, basic animation settings, like position, scale, opacity. So let's say if the opacity is how much percent we want to see the video. So if I change this, so by clicking and then dragging to the left, we can change the percent of this. So if this is 0%, then because when we created a composition, we had a black solid, so this turns to black. If we created a red solid at the beginning, then this will turn into red. And now we will click on this stopwatch icon here. We click on it at the beginning, so we are here at the beginning 0. We can also see it's from here. So if we we move this to 2 seconds, time indicator, we move this to 2 seconds, and then we can change this to 100. So it shows back the original form of the video. I'll change this to 100, and it automatically created a keyframe here because we changed the value of the opacity. So what this will do is it will come from out of nothing, because we set this to 0 here. It will come from out of nothing. It will show us the actual thing within 2 seconds. So let's ramp preview this, and there you go. And we move this to 3 seconds, and then we can set another keyframe by clicking on this icon. So here, this one, and this will keep the value of the latest keyframe. So we had it at 100, so we can set another keyframe at 3 seconds, and then we can go to 4 seconds. We move this to 4 seconds, and then if we change this back to 0, then from 2 to 3 seconds it will stay the same, and then after 3 seconds it will go back to black. So if you preview this, as you can see, and if we didn't have this one, because we set another keyframe here, we had it at 100. So if we just press delete, if we didn't have this one, then it would have a transition from 2 seconds to 4 seconds like that. So that's why we set a keyframe here, so it would stay the same. So as you can see, it turned to 50 here. So, and if we set a keyframe, we change this to 100, then it will stay the same from 2 to 3 seconds. And then after 3 seconds, it will turn back to transparent. I'm gonna delete the keyframes now by selecting and then pressing delete. I delete the last 2 keyframes. So we have this animation when we move this, and then I'll close the settings here, going back to the tools that we have here. So when we select this one, horizontal type tool, we can click anywhere around here, and then we can add a text to our video. And then if we go to character panel, character settings here, I mean, we get this settings for our text. So we can select it like that, and we can change the color by clicking here. We can make it white if you want to. We can change the size of it by changing the value of this, just like in Photoshop. Or if you want to set a tracking to it, we can change the value of this one, and then we can change the typeface if you want. By going to this character settings, and we can center this text if you want to. We can go to align here, align panel, and then we have this option here if you want to align to composition or selection. So composition for this case, and we can align this horizontally and then vertically into the center. So as you can see, it's now centered. There are cases that you want to align to the left, bottom left, or top left. But yeah, we will keep this at the center now. So, and with move tool here, selection tool, by clicking on that one, we can move this manually to wherever we want. So I'll press Ctrl Z to undo, so it's back to the center. And now for this case, we open the settings here as well. We get the transform settings again, and this time we have a look at the position. So I go to the beginning, and then I want this to animate from left to right. So I will need to change this. So while holding shifts, we need to change the X value of it. So this is the X value and this is the Y value. If we want to move this from left to right, we change the value of this one, and if we want to move from up to down, then we change the Y value like that. So by moving this, so I move this to the left, so I set a keyframe on it just like we have done before. So I go to 5th second or 4th second, and then I change this, I move this to the right side like that. And now when we move this to the beginning, when we have a look at it, we have this movement. So these are the basic animations. And we see this panels here, align panel, character panel, and so on. We see this here because we have them here. Window, we go to window, and then we have them here checked. So if I uncheck this align, it's checked here. If I uncheck this, I mean, I'll just go here, it's not unchecked yet. So if I uncheck this, so as you can see, it doesn't show up here now. And then I'll click on this again, so here it is on the right side. So I'll move this up here. And if I wanted to give this video an effect, so we will be going to this effects and presets panel, click on it, so we get this options. You can type in here, so while selecting this layer, I'll type in Gaussian blur, so this one, and by typing just a few letters, it shows up the actual thing here. So we double click on this one, and then we get these effect control panels here. And so to see this one, as I said, effects and presets, to see this one, we can go to window, and then we need to have this one checked, as I said. And to see this settings here, the settings, effect controls, then we will need to check this one, effect controls, in case you don't see it here. So we want to, while selecting this layer, we add a Gaussian blur to it, so double click on it, and then we get the settings. We can, depending on the video, you might want to add more blur to it. So if we change the value to a bigger number, as you can see, it gets too blurry. So in this case, we will keep it less blurry. So 40 for our case. And as you can see, it's blurry now. So because we selected the video only and not the text, we added the effect to the video, the text doesn't get blurry. And if I copy this, so Ctrl C to copy this one and then paste it to the text, then also the text would get blurry. But I'll press Ctrl Z to undo, because I don't want that. We don't want that. And if I want to save this video somewhere, so I'd go to File and then Save As, and then this is where it shows where it will be saving the video. I can rename this to example, click on save, and let's say that if we close this, so if we close this, if it's gone, basically we can, by going back to File, Open Project, then if we choose double click on example, it shows us, it continues where we left off. So this is how you save and return back to your edited video. And if I wanted to cut this video, so let's say I want this to start from I want to cut this here at first second. I want this video to I want to make this to start from the first second. So here, as you can see, the mouse cursor changes. So I would either hold shift and then drag this to the first second. So now when we move this, as you can see, nothing happens until first second. So I would either do this while holding shift or press Alt and backspace. So if I zoom in and then press Alt and backspace, as you can see, it does the thing instantly. And then we can do the same for end point. If we want this to end at 3 seconds, then I'd press Alt and right bracket. So this is where it ends. And if I move this, as you can see, it turns to black. So I'll hit undo now, or we can just shift drag this. So if I want this to end at 5th second, I could drag this here. Then the icon changes to this. So I'll hit Ctrl Z to undo the changes. We are fine with what we had. So let's say we are done with editing our project. So we want to save this at the end. So we go to File, Export, and then choose this one, Add to Render Queue. And then we have the settings here. We can go to Render Settings and then choose here. We choose the best settings, resolution, we choose full. And then we don't need to change much here. We can click OK. And then output module, we can change the format to, we have several options here. We will keep this in QuickTime. We could change this to AVI if we wanted to, or we could choose this different formats. We will be keeping the settings, so I won't get much into detail because this is a beginner tutorial. So, and if you want, if the video doesn't have an audio, we could turn this off from the settings. And then let me see if I have anything else here. So we can just click OK. And then we need to determine where we want to save this. So we click on this one. So this is where we want to save this. It doesn't matter if the name is same. So because this is in QuickTime MOV format, so we will click on save, and then here we have this option for render, and when we click on this, it will render the video. So I'll come back to you when this is done. So that's what we will be getting after we render the video. And that will be it for this beginner's course. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, you can leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel for more tutorials like this. Take care.